or something.
Probably engine lights on.
This is sick though. Drop top cruising. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to continue working on our 2007 Honda S2000 that was totaled out by an animal. And as you've seen in the previous video, we did swap out a lot of things from our old engine, which probably has a blown head gasket, and now we got a new and improved low mileage engine which is going in today. And hopefully with that all being said and done, after we swap out these headers, we can get this sucker started up and going down the street. Alrighty guys, so now that we got the engine off of this subframe, we're gonna go ahead and change out the motor mounts, which we purchased these at the local parts store. They were pretty pricey, 175 bucks for two, but it was definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, these were definitely busted. There was already hydraulic or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I think they're hydraulic packed. You have the old one in there?
Yeah, I have the old one. It's already leaking the oil, so it's crazy.
That's not good, especially,
you see that?
Especially for boost right there. It ain't good at all. So we're gonna go ahead and swap both these motor mounts out, then we're gonna bring in our new engine and install it, and hopefully we should be ready to go into the car.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Guys, so that's pretty much it. We got the ECU plugged in, all the wiring where it needs to go. We're just hooking up the battery right now, and we're gonna do a first test start right now.
Fingers crossed.
I think it's gonna do great. That's the goal right there, because after it starts up, we're gonna come out here tomorrow early morning, put everything else together, the radiators, everything else, this whole suspension here, and we're gonna go ripping.
We may need to prime the fuel system.
Yeah, oh yeah, let them VTEC ponies kick in right there. That fuel probably hasn't even went through yet.
Oh, yeah.
Turn it on and off a couple times.
May have to bleed it. There's a bleed valve at the very end. Alright guys, so we are having a starting issue. We're not getting no fuel out of the fuel injectors. It is priming, everything's good. We just lifted the car up, went through all the wiring. Everything is plugged in, what we think. We're just gonna have to catch you guys tomorrow in the morning, get the computer plugged up to it, see what's going on, and hopefully find out and get this thing running. Next day here guys, and we already started digging into this motor, trying to figure out why it won't start. And as soon as I went to the back of this engine, I found out that this little sensor right here, I don't know what you would call it, it slides right up in there. I've pulled off the one off the parts engine just to look at it, and it is a lot different. But what I did find is it actually cracked right here, and all three of these prongs are facing down, so it probably had a very bad connection. I went ahead and straightened them out. Hopefully this still works. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in, screw it back down, see if this thing will crank right up.
That's gotta be it.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Still no luck, it still won't start, but I was just looking really closely to these sensors right here, and they are a lot different. As you can tell, one sits a little bit further in than the other, and this one has 2 prongs, but this one has 3. This one's from this engine, but this valve cover is from the parts engine, or
We swapped wiring harnesses.
Yeah, we swapped wiring harnesses, but we need to go ahead and probably swap the valve covers.
Yeah,
you know,
because it is a little bit different. There is like an extra sensor here,
and this sensor may be sitting a little. It sits a little bit the other way. So let's go ahead and swap these valve covers. Hopefully that fixes the problem, and this thing will crank right up. The thing that reads on that sensor,
camshaft position sensor.
This may be different. This little sensor may be different.
It's got to be different because I mean the whole valve cover is different. So
or this valve cover is different. I mean, it obviously is different because it has a sensor, but I wonder if the depth, you know, is all the same right here. We're just gonna have to do a little bit of research, find out, pull that valve cover off, and hopefully get this thing fixed. You know, we need to know what's wrong with this thing so this thing cranks right up because both of the engines ran.
They both ran, and we did something kind of odd. You know, we just swapped the wiring harnesses from a 05 to a 07 engine. Yeah.
So let's go ahead, get into this research, do a little bit of more research before we start tearing anything apart, and that's it.
So back over here to the engine that originally came out of the car that we're gonna fix. We're gonna go ahead and take the valve cover, swap it out. As you can tell here, it doesn't have a sensor hole here, and it may be a little bit different height there. So we're gonna go ahead and swap these out and give it another whirl.
Alrighty guys, so we took off both the valve covers and we're looking at the cams, just investigating, see what's a lot different from that one to this one. And this little wheel right here, I don't know what you would call it, camshaft position sensor wheel, or that probably what creates the firing pattern for the sprayers.
Yeah.
So hopefully
we can swap these directly over and not screw anything up. I mean,
we want to just go ahead and grab these cams off of this engine because they look a lot better, honestly, than that one.
Yeah, that is true. I noticed that look how clean that is.
They look really nice. So we're probably gonna just go ahead, swap the cams, make sure everything is top dead center, and should be fairly simple. In our understanding, should be fairly simple. So
we don't usually do stuff like this, but I mean, it's like common sense here. You put the engine top dead center. You got marks everywhere.
Mark here, lines there, lines here. Everything lines up. Everything, all the OEM marks from the factory all pointed to the top. So we're gonna do that to that engine as well. Put everything top dead center. 16 foot-pounds of torque. Unscrew all this. Hopefully easy swap, and hopefully this thing runs. We're doing everything we can, guys. So let's go ahead and swap these camshafts. Alrighty guys, so we just changed the camshafts and the valve cover. Let's give it another shot and hopefully get this thing firing. Oh, yeah. Oh,
yes, dude. We're getting freaking fuel, man. Right here, brother.
Yes. Oh, man. All right. Moment of truth.
This thing's about to fire.
Don't start it yet.
Hold your horses.
Turn it off. Oh man.
Dude. I'm glad. I'm just so happy to see that fuel shoot out of there because that was our issue. No fuel.
We were literally like behind the camera. We were literally sitting here for probably like 4 to 5 hours trying to figure everything out. Running around, figuring out that the camshafts are actually a slight hair different. At the very end, on one of them, it had like
it's called a camshaft wheel or a cam wheel.
Yeah, cam wheel was a little bit different.
Yeah.
It was really hard to tell to a normal eye, but I was just sitting there researching, looking back and forth. Give me the gun over there on the ground.
That's right, a normal eye would not catch that.
Dude.
But yes, we're gonna tighten that up. And once it fires up, then we are all green light, go from there, throw everything together and probably change the fluids. We gotta change
let it run a little bit, change the oil.
Transmission fluid,
and then I wanna do the fattest burnout I possibly can. But for right now, let's get this thing started. Go ahead, give it another shot.
Thing's got a lot of oil to burn off, but we do want to change the oil filter, transmission fluid, so let's go ahead and start with that.
Let's do it.
Guys, so we just finished installing everything. The suspension is 100% other than the wheels, but before we throw any of that on, we're gonna go ahead and put some fresh oil in this thing, as well as some coolant and a new oil filter. We should be good to go. I'm super excited. So let's go ahead, drain this old oil. I want to see how it wasn't really that bad in the engine, because the engine only had super low miles and it looked like somebody recently changed it. So let's go ahead, change this oil out, lower this car down, throw the wheels on, and take it down the road.
That's right, we're torquing down the wheels, and next thing is some coolant.
Some oil.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Can't run it with no oil.
I mean, these things can run without oil, but we're not going to test it today.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we are all done. We went ahead and popped on the front bumper. Go ahead and see if she'll fire up once again. Fired up. How's that clutch feel? Slow down.
It's super tight.
All right.
We're gonna have to fix this though. This can't work.
What?
Sounds pretty good.
What is that, the anti-lag?
Something like that. It's crazy.
Let's go for it.
Clutch is super tight.
Really?
Yeah.
That exhaust sounds freaking mean also.
Oh yeah. With the headers. What the heck? It won't go past 3,000 RPMs. That's crazy.
Maybe in limp mode or something.
Probably engine lights on.
Oh, this is sick though. Drop top cruising.
Something's wrong with it. Won't go past 3,000 RPM. I want to back it up.
Yep, back her on up. We're gonna take her back home. Puffing a little bit of smoke back there, but hey, that's normal.
Man, I can't get into VTEC.
No VTEC, man.
That sucks.
It's like in limp mode or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely check that out. But man, this put some fuel treatment in it, and obviously some 93 octane, and hopefully it does some. Yeah, I know.
Hopefully VTEC's putting the V-power in there.
Yeah, we need that VTEC.
Oh yeah.
We need to be drifting this thing right now.
I know it sucks. I wonder what the issue is. It could be a lot of things we've been reading online, but we're gonna try to narrow it down to a few. I mean, we just gotta VTEC it, man.
Man, we need that VTEC.
I never had VTEC in my life, so I feel it.
Hey, there's no respect until we get VTEC,
That's right, that's right. 3,000 RPMs ain't gonna cut it.
Heck no. Alrighty guys, so we finally got this thing running and driving, but we just can't figure out why it won't go over 3,000 RPM, so that means we can't hit VTEC, which absolutely sucks. But tonight we are gonna do some more research, and we're gonna come here fresh in the morning and try to figure this thing out. So we'll see you guys then. Next day here, guys, and we did a ton of research last night trying to figure out why our car is just not going into VTEC. Basically, it's in limp mode right now, not going past 3,000 RPMs, and the only thing we can come up with is probably our valves need to be adjusted, or our camshafts just need to be checked. Make sure everything is 100% lined up. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and pop this valve cover back off the car and check all the timing. See what's going on over there. We're gonna go ahead and twist it into top dead center. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, eating away at any of these lobes here. Yeah, it runs solid. Everything's running smooth. We do want to check these valves though, because some of them were super tight once we set it at top dead center. And we just want to make sure the exhaust valves are adjusted properly along with the intake valves. So let's go ahead and set it top dead center, and then we'll just keep moving from there. Alrighty guys, so our timing just checked out perfectly fine. Our valves are great. We checked all the clearance and it's perfect. Now our best bet is to probably go ahead and put everything back together and start reading all the stuff that the computer is pulling up, and the check engine light is on, so we got to get that to go off first. So that's one of the main things, so let's go ahead and start with that. Alrighty guys, so we're actually heading to the AutoZone to see if they can possibly reset our codes. Something. We're just giving it a shot. We're cruising. It's still rev limiting at 3,000 RPM, so we're gonna go see what AutoZone can do for us. Maybe they could clear the check engine light. So we're having fun, but man, this thing needs to scream, dude.
Needs that VTEC.
Well, that's what it's pulling up right there. All those codes. This little device works great.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, don't.
You want to be famous?
No, I am famous, baby. What you talking about? Say she is famous.
Alright, so we are back, and unfortunately we could not figure out the VTEC issue, but we did put an order in on that crankshaft position sensor, which the computer is bringing that up. Hopefully that's the issue, but stay tuned for the next video and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Also guys, if you have any advice or any suggestions of what this problem is, be sure to leave that in the comments down below and help us hit VTEC. And you may have noticed a brand new t-shirt. We got a brand new S2000 design with a Japanese flag on the inside of the O. These are very limited, so be sure to visit goonsquad.com and copy one. So with that being said, be sure to follow us on Instagram at GoonSquad to get an inside scoop there before YouTube. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Be sure to stay tuned for some awesome content coming your way, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.